It's the Big Fat American Podcast. I'm Zach Martin. And of course, we'll air some of this interview on 1023 KKDJ Fresno, along with some other radio stations around the globe. We're with Joey Sykes, who is working on something, and I really like the idea. But before we get to that, Joey, if you can give us a little bit of your rock and roll bio so that somebody tuning in, listening for the very first time, it might be familiar with their name, but they don't know exactly what you do.
Yeah, hey Zach, nice to hear your voice, man. I've been at it a while. I'm originally from New York, and I was in a band called Coward in 1997 on Elektra Records. Kind of started the whole thing. A couple things before that, but that was the big one. And then toured around with Third Eye Blind. Was also on the same label, so we kind of did that for a bit. And then I moved out to California and was playing guitar for a good friend of mine, Tommy Hendrickson, who now is in Alice Cooper and Hollywood Vampires. So he's a close friend, and I played guitar for him back when he was on Capitol Records. Then after him, I played guitar for Meredith Brooks.
Nice.
Who was also on Capitol Records.
One of my favorite songs, Bitch.
Yeah, that was amazing time, and we got to play Madison Square Garden and the Staples Center and Jay Leno and go a couple of different countries. The band was amazing. We had the guy, the keyboard player in Meredith is in the Eagles. He's been in the Eagles for a while, and Don Henley, Will Hollis. So he was the keyboard player. And Herman Matthews, great drummer. So it was a really great time actually for me. Late before 2000, stuff like that. And then kind of went back to New York for a bit, and then came back to California in 2005 or something.
Yeah, well, you've been around a long time. You've been in all kinds of projects. I don't think people realize how small the music world is with musicians, how they go back and forth from bands, and how they all know each other and they're good friends. One of my favorite musicians in your area out of Santa Monica is Brian Ray. I just think he's tremendous. He's got a couple of singles. Yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah. So you're surrounded by a lot of great musicians who live in your area of the country. You're originally from what part of Long Island?
A place called Elmont, Long Island, which is there's a famous racetrack called Belmont Racetrack. Right. Okay. And pretty close to there. Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you this question: growing up on the island, what was your favorite football team growing up? Was it the Jets or the Giants?
It was the Jets. Yeah, I'm still a football fan. I still love the Jets.
Let me hold on before you go any further. Let me guess: Jets, Mets, and Nets. I mean, you just picked the three most miserable teams.
You're right, but it's the Knicks. It's just as miserable.
It's a miserable mix. Oh, boy. Well, all right. I went to St. John's University, so I was familiar with the happenings on Long Island. I was there in the days when we were the beast of the East and we clobbered people. Never won the national championship, but we got close. All right, so you're a fellow New Yorker like I am, and we probably went to some of the same areas, going out to the Hamptons in the summertime, having a good old time at some of the clubs, and going in the city and maybe to the bitter end or Madison Square Garden for a show. So now you're in California, Long Beach. What are you working on now? I know that there's a big fundraising event that's going to be happening soon. I'm really excited about that. But what is Joey Sykes working on?
Well, the thing that I'm really pushing, and it's just a brand new, is a song and a video called "Let's Get Through This," and I wrote it obviously about what's going on right now in the world and the thing that we're all going through, and it has a kind of an uplifting sound, so it's not like depressing, it's not too deep, and everyone can sing along to it. And the video is kind of fun. My friend Scott Sykes did like kind of an illustration video, kind of like Saturday morning cartoon vibe, and it's just for a minute you hear the song and you get it right away, and it's kind of uplifts you instead of being too deep or anything like that. So I'm really pushing that, and I'm starting to get some airplay. Just got some airplay on Tom Petty Radio on Sirius XM. Steve Ferroni played it and said some really nice things about the song and me, and that was really amazing for him to do that. So it's starting to get some traction. Just, well, let's get through this.
That's really a great idea, and it's uplifting, like you said. Much different than what I would do. I didn't get my stimulus check.
People.
Where the hell is my stimulus check? You told me it'd be here already. I didn't get the SBA small business loan. Screw you guys, I'm going home. Right? So there you go. 2 songs I just did. Yeah, I am. I'm really, look, getting through the whole lockdown thing, house arrest, whatever you want to call it, is one thing. But having to deal with these, obviously, and this is as political as I'll ever get. These brood of vipers in Washington is just the most aggravating thing out of all of it. We sign a $2 trillion stimulus bill. Nobody gets any money. You have $350 billion that are supposed to go to small businesses to keep them open, including record shops. They don't get any. It goes to the guys with the money. So that's really out of control.
No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I feel the same way, and we're probably on the similar sides of that, and without going too deep into it. It's frustrating.
Yeah, I'm bashing all of them. I'm not pointing anybody out.
You know what? It's like a tug of war. It's like an annoying tug of war watching all this shit, because there's 2 sides, and there's somewhere in the middle maybe is the right way, or the truth, or compassion, or I don't know.
Nobody knows.
You can go deep.
Yeah, Joey. Nobody knows what to make of all of this. Yeah, there's 2 sides, all right. The left, the right, and then you and I and everybody else that's getting trampled on. Well, anyway, let's move across to this song. What's the name of it again? Because I'm forgetful. It's part of the effects of COVID-19.
Let's get through this.
Let's get through this. All right, and you got the video. Yeah. Let's get through this. You can go, I guess, to iTunes to get the song.
Yeah, it's available everywhere on Spotify, and the video's up on YouTube.
That's great. I'm glad that you're taking your time at home to make the most of the situation. That's what most of us should do here. Make the most of it. Because, hey, look, you can sit there and mope all day, or you can learn a new language, you can write a song. And I just want to let you know, and anybody else that's listening, we're with Joey Sykes. If you have a top 10 hit on your hands, you just wrote the song, you can enter it into the John Lennon Songwriting Contest. I've been involved with the John Lennon Songwriting Contest and Educational Tour Bus since 1998. It's a long time.
Whoa.
And there is a deadline of April 19th where you can send in your song and win a nice cash prize. So that's something to do if you're a musician, you got a song. Even, Joey, you can even enter to the contest. It doesn't matter what level you're
I'm going to put my song in it. Yeah, thanks for telling me. Can you help me with that?
Yeah, well, check out LennonBus.org. Put your song in. Tell them I sent you. Really good people. And it's a organization that I'm really fond of, and I've always had something to do with them for over 20 years now. When I was working with Scott Muni back at Q1043 in New York, that's when we started doing that kind of stuff. So,
yeah, I'm going to take you up on that.
Hey, do it.
I definitely want it. It's a good idea.
Tell all your friends, too. Now, there's this big concert going on for Los Angeles to help the L.A. area through this crisis. Let me go get my notes over here. Oh, yeah, of course. And I hope Paul McCartney is part of this because it's all together now. Tell us about this whole tell us about this whole all together now thing. What is this exactly?
Well, it's kind of a telethon fundraiser in next Saturday. That's going to the 25th at 2:00 Pacific time, I think, and it's basically to raise funds and raise awareness for like the LA's frontline people and doctors and food banks and just kind of I guess it's a fundraiser for that kind of thing. And even though it's just LA, it's such a universal mentality that people are gonna feel it, and you can donate, and there's pretty big stars if you go on that website, like
I'm looking
Robinson and Rick Springfield. And
it's
cool.
altogetherNowLA.org, and I'm looking at it right now. Now, listen, I can pull some strings for you guys. If you're just doing I can get you on KKDJ TV. It's like the MTV of Fresno. So you can have the whole thing on television, but talk to you about that later. So I'm looking at the lineup. You got Jeff Bridges, Smokey Robinson, who we mentioned, Brian Ray. He's on Tears of a Clown and One Heartbeat that he does with Brian Ray. It's 2 phenomenal songs. You should check that out. It's available on Wicked Cool Records. We've got Paris and Kathy Hilton. That's always fun. Carole King. How about that? Mike Love of the Beach Boys. Paul Rogers. Now, all of these artists are going to, I guess, pitch in from where they are at home, right? Isn't that how it works?
Yeah, they're gonna, it's not like a concert, obviously, because we're all quarantined. But they're gonna be able to be live at where they are, and I guess I didn't put it together, so I'm not really sure. I guess they're gonna be able to talk to everybody and answer questions and say something, and it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it sounds cool to me. You got
cool.
Steve Lukather. Let's talk about Steve Lukather for a second. I used to Lukather, yeah. Isn't that what I said? Did I say it wrong?
Lukather.
Whatever. Lukather. Okay. So I always felt bad for him because he's a great, great guitar player. And,
oh, yeah.
He was with Toto. It's not like you're going to be able to, jam on your guitar when you're a member of Toto. However, I would imagine that the Brinks trucks show up on a regular basis, so he's doing quite well for himself. You got Lisa Loeb, Rick Springfield, Denny Lane. Wow. How about that? All right.
Yeah.
And Ellis Hall, Joey Sykes, Vonda Shepard, Kevin Eubanks. I'm going down the list. Oh, wow. Jesse Colin Young. I guess he'll be in Hawaii when he does that. Alan Parsons. I can't say Alan Parsons without thinking of Dr. Evil. The Alan Parsons Project, right? Tim Allen, Mickey Thomas. Well, you can go to altogethernow.la.org and find out about that event. That's great. And then we'll get through this. Great song by Joey Sykes. Got the video.
Let's get through this.
Listen, I'm telling you, my brain isn't what it used to be.
Once you listen to it, you're gonna feel bad because you're gonna be like, this is in my head, and you're gonna probably call me up and go, get out of my head.
Oh, you mean like a Barney song?
It's not cheesy. It's a good song. I think you're going to like it.
Yeah, no, I don't mind getting it stuck in my head just as long as it's not that Barney song. That had to go around my head for years. That and...
No, it's way better than Barney.
All right, let me ask you this. This is fun. Let's have some fun here. The phone's ringing. That's the other line, but I'm not going to answer it. It's probably a bill collector. They got some onions on them these days calling people. All right. So what was that one song that you couldn't get out of your head when someone would mention it? I do that to my wife in the morning. I'll find the craziest song. I'll mention it to her. I go, all right, try to get that out of your head. I'll see you later. I'm going to work. So what songs would be on your list of can't get them out of your head besides?
Can't get it out of my head?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a good one. ELO, right.
ELO.
What else you got?
I got Let It Be is always in my head.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh. What else is there?
Well, it happens to be a lot of Beatles songs for some reason.
Well, that's fine. All together now. Yeah. All together now. All right.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many. Music is the only thing that's in my head, which is probably to a fault.
Huh.
That's the way my life went.
Well, it's a good life. I mean, you're living the dream. Now, what do you like better about the West Coast as opposed to the East Coast that brings you out to L.A.? Well,
I initially went out after my band Coward was kind of done in 97, 98. My friend Tommy Hendrickson got a deal on Capitol. He's now playing guitar for Alice Cooper and Hollywood Vampires. Back in 99, he got a deal on Capitol, so he wanted me to come out and play guitar for him. So I kind of went out to the West Coast initially for that. And then just loved California. I love it's more chill. For me, it's more chill. I mean, even though I'm from New York, I can do that energy if I have to, but I feel better about being more chilled out and more space, and obviously the weather.
Right.
That goes without saying. So it just works for me, man. I don't know. I could do both.
Yeah, and no matter where you are, whether New York or L.A., you're stuck in traffic at certain points. I mean, you're just sitting there for hours.
And even Nashville, which is where I go a lot. It's the same thing now. Nashville's all traffic. Yeah.
So, although there's not many cars on the road these days, so now's the time to go driving.
No.
Right?
Drive everywhere now. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about L.A., because I love L.A. I go there at least once a year. I bring my daughter. We go to Anaheim. We go to Disneyland. We go to Universal. We take a ride around there. What I like to do is find the location, or I should say the locations of the shows that I grew up watching. For instance, Emergency. So I'll go to Carson, Engine 127, go in there, buy a couple shirts and hats. I'll go find the Brady Bunch house. The Universal tour, man, is a lot of fun. I know it sounds like, the typical tourist stuff. And then I always have to go, before I leave, I got to go to Santa Monica, to the end of the pier, and go on that, what is that thing called? The Ferris wheel. I got to go on that.
Ferris wheel, yeah.
Yeah, I got to take some pictures. I've never been up to Malibu. Maybe I'll do that next time. I like Pink's. That's a good place. Pink's hot dogs. Try that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, that's good. And a couple other places that I've tried it, and I really like the area. It's chill. Yeah, I agree. It's very expensive probably to live there, just like New York City. So, there's no saving any money there.
Tough to buy property, and that's the one annoying thing about it. You got to make sure you're making some money to be able to live here.
Well, now with the negative interest rates, I'm sure you could get a mortgage a lot easier if you have some money. Anyway,
that's right.
Who is now outside of what you do as a musician? Who is the most famous person that you saw or met while you were out in California? And follow up, if you had a favorite show that you grew up watching, did you go see any of the location sites?
Unfortunately, I'll be no fun at this because I have not done that. Mm-hmm. Other than on Long Island, the Amityville Horror.
Oh yeah, who hasn't? Yeah, I get my Dodge at Security Dodge. Take 110 to the end and let the savings begin. Right over there in Amityville. Yeah, so of course, I've done that before. All right.
Yeah.
So you didn't do anything out west. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a rock and roll assignment. You at least go to Universal when they open up and take the backlot tour. I think that stuff is cool.
You know what? I might have done that. I just don't. I can't. It's not something I could have a funny or interesting conversation about it. But I think I did do that. I think my niece came to California, and I think that was one thing that we did. Me and my brother and my niece. We went on some. Yeah, we had a movie theater with 4D or
4D, whatever. 5D plus smell-o-vision. Yeah, that thing. Yeah.
That thing.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
All right. Well, there was something I was going to tell you that's really funny. Oh, so while I was out in Los Angeles the last time, because there's this group called Richard and the Young Lions. They're garage rock out of Newark. So somebody goes to me, "Hey, man, what's Newark like?" I go, "The best way I can describe it is LAX without the palm trees. Los Angeles is Newark with the palm trees." So there you go. If anybody's wondering, that's how I explain it. Right? I got it. All right, Joey, thank you so much for spending time with us. How can people follow you on social media? Just give us everywhere that we can go and find what you're doing.
Instagram is Joey Sykes 903. The Joey Sykes music page is like a fan page on Facebook.
Yay!
I got traditional website joeysykes.com. I'm around, YouTube. Just put in my name, that or Honey River is a new band that I started recently. Bunch of videos on there. I play guitar in the Babies.
Yes, I know that. That's cool.
Rock band.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, good for you, man.
Yeah, I'm around.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. We'll go find you. We'll leave the cannolis, take the gun, or is it take the gun and leave the cannolis? Something like that. All right. Well, thank you very much for spending some time with us. I know that this is a difficult situation for a lot of people, but hey, if you make the most of it, listen to some tunes, we'll get through it, right?
Well, Zach, as much as you can promote my song "Let's Get Through This," I think people are going to really dig it, and I am going to enroll it in the John Lennon contest.
You should do that.
I'm going to drop your name.
LennonBus.org. Yes, that's right.
It's LennonBus.org.
Yeah, that'll give you the information. It's a John Lennon songwriting contest, but I usually send people to LennonBus.org because the other one is JLC. I don't know. JLSC.org, and it's really confusing to me. So I go, just go to Lennon Bus. You'll find the songwriting contest, or you can always Google it. Google a John Lennon songwriting contest and enter your song now. Well, thank you for listening. You can follow us at Facebook.com/BigFatAmerican, Twitter at Zach Martin Rocks, text or call BFA on demand 626-559-1450. And don't forget to listen to our Wicked Cool Future Classics, including what we have from Joey Sykes on 102.3 KKDJ, Fresno.